So we're going to start with lying down on our mat. So coming to lie down on your mat, just having your feet flat on the floor about hip width apart. We'll just check in with the body and just see that we're nice and connected down towards the floor. So just checking in with the back of the head, back of the skull. Just noticing whether you feel like you're kind of leaning a little bit more to the left or to the right. And if you're not too sure, you can just rock across the back of the skull. And then coming to somewhere in the middle where your nose is pointing directly up towards the ceiling. And then coming down through into the back of the shoulders, the back of the ribs. And here just have a really nice big inhale in towards the chest. And then as you exhale, just allow everything in that area just to soften and just melt down in towards the ground. Then from here we come down through your lower back and then down in towards your pelvis. Pelvis is nice and heavy, just melting down in towards the mat. Thighs just dropping down in towards the hip sockets, and then the calves just dropping down in towards the feet. We're going to start off with some bridging. So we just want to make sure that the feet are flat on the floor, nice and parallel. You can give your toes a little bit of a wriggle, and then make sure they're all nice and planted down, connected to the floor. So from here, we're going to start by pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, sending the knees ahead to the wall in front of you, coming all the way up, just to resting on the back of the shoulder blades. Nice big inhale at the top. And then as you exhale, we're going to start to soften in the chest first and just allow the spine to melt all the way down to the floor. Pelvis coming back down. Great, we'll go again. So we're pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, really sending the knees over the feet to get that nice opening through the front of the hips here. Coming all the way up just to resting on the back of the shoulder blades. Big inhale at the top. And then exhale, really seeing if you can soften in the chest first, soften in the mid-back. Then you get to the lower back, the lower spine, and then the pelvis is coming all the way down. Great, we'll keep going here. So we're pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, really sending the knees ahead of you. Resting on the top of the shoulder blades and just making sure you've got space in between your chin and your chest here. And then softening through the body, sending the pelvis all the way down. We'll go for a couple more. Really pressing through the feet to keep the pelvis lifted. And then really sending the spine away from the crown of the head towards the feet. And then last one here, really mobilizing through the spine. And then melting the body all the way down. From here, we're going to come into some arm arcs. So we're just going to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. The palms are facing each other. Then from here, we're just going to check in with the shoulders. So we're going to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, peeling the shoulder blades off the mat. And then just allowing them to drop back down in towards their sockets, spreading wide in towards the floor. Going again, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, really peeling the shoulder blades off the floor, and then allowing the shoulders to drop back down in towards the floor again. One more time, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, chest nice and heavy, and then just dropping the arms back in. From here, we're going to start to sweep the arms overhead behind you. So here we're only taking them as far as we can keep the ribs nice and soft, so they may not get all the way down towards the floor. Then from here, we're going to sweep the arms back up towards the ceiling. So going again, we're going to add in some breath. We're going to inhale and then exhale, allowing the arms to fall overhead behind you. And then sweeping the arms back up overhead. Going for a couple more, just releasing through the shoulders. Really seeing if you can lengthen out through the armpits and really soften in the chest. And then last one. and then bringing the arms back up towards the ceiling and then just bringing them down by the side of the body. We're just going to combine the last two exercises. So we're going to combine the bridging with the arm arcs. So we're just going to start with our normal bridge. We're pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, coming all the way up into our bridge, really pressing through the feet to keep the pelvis nice and lifted. Then when we're here, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead behind you, really reaching through the fingertips, trying to get a little bit longer through the whole torso. Then we're going to start to allow the spine to melt all the way down to the floor. And then sweeping the arms back overhead, back down towards the feet when your pelvis is down. Cool, so we'll go for a few more of these. Pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, sending the knees ahead. When you're up at the top of your shoulder blades, we're reaching the arms overhead behind you. Really getting that length through the fingertips. And then we're starting to melt the spine down, seeing if we can keep reaching through the head, reaching through the arms. And then bringing the arms back. Great, we'll go for 3 more here. So we're reaching, oh no, we're coming into our bridge first. I got too excited there. So we're like, oh, it's lovely. Throwing the arms overhead behind you. And then allowing the spine to melt all the way down. Bringing the arms back. Again, pressing through the feet, peeling the spine off the mat, really seeing if you can get that opening through the front of the hip. Keep pressing into the feet. Taking the arms overhead, really seeing if you can soften in the chest, and then allowing the spine to melt all the way down. Bringing the arms back. We'll go for 1 more, pressing down through the feet, peeling the spine off, coming all the way up to resting on the back of the shoulder blades. Arms overhead behind you, and then really seeing if we can send the tail away from the crown of the head, getting as long as we can be, and then bringing the arms all the way down. Great, from here we're going to come into our chest lift. So we're going to interlace the fingers and place them behind the back of the head. We want to have the thumbs just running down the side of the neck, elbows in our peripheral vision. From here we really want to allow the head to just be nice and heavy in the hands, so we're not kind of gripping or holding any tension there. We want to have the elbows so they're just wrapping around the side of your head. So from here, we're going to have a nice big inhale and see if we can lengthen the head away from the rest of the spine. Then as you exhale, we're just picking up head, neck and shoulders and bringing the eye gaze and the elbows towards the knees. Big inhale at the top and then exhale coming all the way back down. Great, we'll go again. So we're inhaling, exhaling, picking up head, neck and shoulders, coming to rest on the back ribs. Inhaling at the top and then exhaling, coming all the way down. Great, next time we come up, we're going to add on some arms. So we're going to inhale, exhale, picking up head, neck and shoulders, staying up here. We're going to release the arms, reach them towards the back of the legs here, hooking them in behind the back of the thigh. From here, we're going to see if we can curl up a little bit higher in through the chest, staying up, bringing hands back behind the head and then coming all the way down. Great, we'll keep going here. So we're inhaling, exhaling, picking up head, neck and shoulders, eye gaze towards the knees, staying up, reaching the hands towards the back of the thighs, curling up a little bit higher, staying up, bringing hands back behind the head and then coming all the way down. Great, we'll go for 3 more here. So we're curling up on our exhale, coming to rest on the back ribs. We're really reaching the arms towards the back of the thighs and hooking the fingers in behind the back here. Then seeing if we can just curl up a little bit more. Staying up and bringing the hands back, coming all the way down. 2 more here, coming up on our exhale. Really seeing if we can send the front ribs down into the back ribs. Hands behind the back of the legs, staying up. Hands back behind the head, coming all the way down. We'll go for 1 more here, seeing if we can lengthen the head away from the tail, reaching the arms forwards behind the back of the thighs, curling up, staying up, hands back behind the head, and then coming all the way down. From here, we're going to come into our 100. So we're going to bring one knee up into tabletop, the other one's coming up to meet it. We're going to come up into our chest lift, and then from here, we're going to stay up, release our arms, bring them down by the side of the body. And then from here, we're just going to keep pulsing the arms. So it's called 100 because of the breathing. We've got to stay up for about 100 breaths or something crazy like that. So we're going to inhale for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5, all while still beating the arms here. So if you're feeling like, oh, this is pretty easy, you can start to lengthen your legs up towards the ceiling and then start to lower your legs down towards the floor. But if you need to, do bring the legs in towards you and keep reaching through the fingertips. So I've lost count. I reckon we've probably got about 20 more. And then we'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bringing everything down, hugging the knees in towards the chest. You can have a little rock from side to side if you need to. From here, we're going to go straight into our single leg stretch. So we're going to bring both hands on towards one leg. We've got the hand more towards the ankle, and then we've got the other hand just towards the top of the knee. We're going to reach long with the other leg. From here, we've got our arms out in kind of like a barrel shape. We're going to press the shin into the hands into the shin. We're curling up through the head, neck and shoulders, and we've got our eye gaze just towards our thigh here. And then from here, we're going to switch legs. Then from here, we're going to switch legs. Then from here, we keep switching. So we're reaching one leg away, bringing the other one in. Trying to keep the tempo, trying to maintain our chest lift. And making sure that we're breathing. We're going to go for 5 and 4, 3, 2, last one. And then from here, we're going to reach the leg long up towards the ceiling. And we're going to go straight into our single straight leg stretch. So from here, we're pulling one leg in towards us. And then we're switching, pulling the other leg in. Staying up in our chest lift position, pulling one leg in towards you, and pulling the other leg in towards you. So each time we're going, we're seeing if we can really lengthen out through the front of the hip on the leg that's sending away, and then opening up through the back of the hamstring on the other leg that we're pulling in towards us. And if you like to, you can do a little bit of a pulse as we're switching the legs. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bringing both legs in and just hugging the knees in towards the chest for a little pause. Then from here, we're going to bring both hands back behind the head. And we're going to come into our double straight leg stretch. So from here, knees back up to our tabletop position, knee directly over the hip. We're going to reach both legs up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to curl up through our head, neck and shoulders, back up in the chest lift. And then from here, we're sending both legs away, down towards the floor, and then bringing them back in towards you. So we're only going as low as you can maintain the back of the ribs and the back of the pelvis with the floor. So if you feel like your lower back is kind of arcing off the mat a little bit, then just make the movement a little bit smaller. My lower back always wants to kind of arc, so I'm keeping the movement quite small and just working to the range that I have. So if you can get your legs all the way down, then that's great. We'll go for one more here. Sending the legs away, drawing the legs back in, and then just bringing the head, neck and shoulders down, hugging the legs in towards the chest for a little bit of a pause. Then we'll just bring the feet down temporarily and just have a little bit of a side to side stretch here. So we're going to bring the arms out wide to the side of the body, feet back down towards the mat, feet, knees and ankles glued together. From here, we're going to start to lean into one hip. The legs are going to start to fall over to that side, and we're only taking them as far as we can keep the opposite shoulder down. Having an inhale here, and then exhale, we're bringing back the ribs, the waist, and then the pelvis back to center. And then we'll go over to the other side. So we're leaning into the opposite hip, legs are falling over to that side, and we're only taking them as far as we can keep this opposite shoulder down and towards the floor. And then we're bringing back the ribs, the waist, and then the pelvis back to center. So we'll keep going here. We're just kind of tick-tocking the legs over to one side. And if it feels okay for the head, you can just look over the opposite shoulder and then bringing everything back into center. And then looking over the other shoulder as the legs are going in the opposite direction. And coming back into center. So from here, if this feels quite okay for the body, or you just want to keep the feet on the floor, then do. Otherwise, we're going to bring the legs up into tabletop, and then we'll keep going with the legs up here. So again, we're leaning into one hip, legs are going over to that side. Again, we're only going as far as we can keep this opposite shoulder down, and if you want to take the head to look over that shoulder, then do. And then bringing back the ribs, the waist, and then the pelvis back to center. And then going on the other side, leaning into the other hip, legs going over that way, looking over the opposite shoulder, and then bringing everything back into center. We'll just go for a few more here. So you've either got your feet up, or you can have your feet flat on the floor. Or if you want to have a little bit more of an extra challenge, you can go with long legs. So we're just taking the legs over, really using the exhale to bring the body back to center, going the other way, and bringing legs back into center. Then from here, we're going to fold the legs in. We're going to come into our crisscross here. So we're going to interlace the fingers, place them back behind the head. Feet are still, knees are still over the hips. We're going to start to curl up through the head, neck, and shoulders. Then we're going to start to send one leg long and drawing the other knee in towards you. We're bringing opposite elbow towards opposite knee. Then coming back through center, bringing that long leg in, then sending the other one away. And coming back into center. So here we're going to start off quite slowly, and then we can up the tempo a little bit. But what we want to focus on is making sure that we're bringing opposite rib to opposite hip, rather than the elbow kind of leading the movement. So we're getting that really nice rotation through the body. And that we're still staying up in our chest lift. So we're going to go for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and last one. I know it's burning. And then coming all the way down. Have a little hug, knees in towards the chest. Have a little breather here. And then from here, just bring the legs out long on the floor, and you can bring the arms overhead behind you and just have a full body stretch here. We've been kind of curled up in a kind of flex position for quite a while now. So we're going to move on over to do a few different things now. So we're just going to come into some roll-ups. So from here, we've got our legs connected down and towards the floor. We're going to start to reach through the fingertips, reaching the arms towards the legs, and then coming all the way up to sitting. So from here, we're going to do a few rolling up and down. So making sure that you've not fallen off your mat like I just did. We're going to start to roll the body down towards the floor. Rolling the spine all the way down, arms up overhead behind you. And then from here, we're reaching the arms up overhead, reaching them towards the feet and coming all the way up to sitting. And then we'll go again. So we're allowing the spine, the pelvis to tilt, the spine to melt all the way down towards the mat, and then allowing the arms to come overhead. And if you're struggling a little bit to come up, you can sweep the arms around and feel as though you're kind of scooping yourself up to come up to sitting, and then coming back down again. So really using the body to come all the way up here, and really getting that tilt through the pelvis to allow the spine to melt all the way down. We'll go for one last one here. And then coming all the way up. And then from here, we're going to come into a little bit of a spine stretch. So making sure that you're sat up really nice and tall on your sit bones, really nice and lengthened through the spine. We're going to reach the fingertips forwards. We're having the palms facing each other. From here, we're going to make sure we're really grounded down through the sit bones, kind of keep this part of your back kind of where it is, and we're just working through the upper part. So we're going to start to reach the fingertips forward. We're going beyond the feet. We're coming up and over. And so you've got this big beach ball just on your legs, and you don't want to fall down in towards it. And then we're going to start to stack the body back up, coming back to sit up nice and tall. Great, going again, we're reaching through the fingertips, reaching beyond the feet, coming up and over our imaginary beach ball, and then stacking the spine all the way back up. And then going again, reaching beyond the feet, and then stacking the body all the way back up. From here, we're going to come into a little bit more rotation in this seated position, and I'm just going to actually spin around so we can have the legs slightly wider here. So from here, we're going to come into some saw. So we're going to bring the arms out wide, just a wide away from the body. And to start, we're going to do some spine twists before we get into that soaring movement. So we're sitting up nice and tall through the spine, and we're going to rotate over towards one side, looking over that shoulder. And then rotating back to the middle, we're going to go over to the other side, just looking over that shoulder. We're staying really nice and grounded through the sit bones. We're just rotating the spine to look over one shoulder and coming back through center, and then rotating the spine to look over the other shoulder and then coming back to center. We're going to add on our saw. So we're going to rotate over to one side. We're reaching one hand behind, reaching one arm forward as though we're sawing off our toe here. Then we're stacking the spine back up, bringing the arm forward, coming into center. Then we're going to go over to the other side. So we're rotating over that leg in front of us, reaching one arm forward, one arm back, coming up and over, really lengthening out through the body, then coming all the way up and coming back to center. We'll go a few more times here. So we're rotating over to one side, we're reaching the front arm forward, sending the front arm back, reaching up and over, stacking the spine back up, coming all the way into the middle. Again, rotating over to the other side, thumb going up on this side, thumb turning and going down on the other side. So we're feeling as though our arms are being pulled in opposite directions, getting a little bit longer. Coming back up, coming back to the middle. We'll go one more time each side. So we're rotating over to the right, reaching up and over, stacking back up, coming back into the center, going over to the left, reaching up and over, stacking back up, coming back into center, and then just bringing the arms to rest. We're going to come back down to lying on our mat. So we're going to roll down to lie on our mat again. So from here, we're just going to roll the spine down, coming all the way down to lying down on the mat. So from here, just allowing the body just to settle in this position, lying back down on the mat again. We're going to come into some scissors and some bicycle. So from here, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop, the other one's coming up to meet it. We're going to reach both legs up long towards the ceiling. Arms are down by the side, the hands are just lightly pressing down in towards the floor. We're going to start to send the legs away from the body, and then we're just peeling the spine off the mat, coming up into our rollover. Then we're bringing one hand, the other hand, and we're just resting them on the back of the pelvis here. So from here, we're going to start to scissor the legs. So we're going to start to send one leg in towards us, the other one up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to swap legs here. So we're reaching out long through the legs, trying to obviously stay in this rolled over position. Making sure that it's not going into the neck. We're breathing and we're just scissoring the legs. You can make the movement as big or as small as you like. I'm trying to keep mine quite small because I feel that when I get to a certain point, I am losing my balance. And then from here, we can go into bicycle legs. So from here, we can start to bend one knee in towards, send the other one long, and then as though you're riding a bicycle. I'm never very good at explaining this, but just imagine you're upside down, you're riding a really big penny farthing. Quite a bizarre thing, but we're working on our stability, we're working on our legs here, all while staying up in this funny rolled up position. And then we're going to see if we can reverse and ride the bicycle backwards. So we want to keep it as big as possible. It's a really big penny farthing. So really sending one leg away as you're drawing one in. We'll just go for a few more here. And then bringing the legs to a still, then bringing one hand down to the mat, the other one down, and then starting to roll the spine all the way back to the floor, and then just bringing one foot down and then the other one. So from here, we're going to roll on over onto our front. So we're rolling over onto one side and then coming down to rest on the front of your body. So just allowing the body just to settle here. The legs are nice and heavy in towards the mat. The pelvis is nice and heavy. The ribs, the chest, and here with the hands underneath the forehead, even the armpits are just sinking down in towards the floor. From here, we're going to bring one hand in line with the chest and the other one coming in to meet it. We're going to go for some prone press here. So we're pressing our pubic bone lightly down in towards the mat just to get a little bit more length through the spine. Head's just hovering away from the floor for now, nose pointing down towards the mat. So from here, the elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. But we're going to start to send the elbows down towards the feet, shoulder blades gliding down the back. We're sending the head and the chest forwards. So we're keeping the front ribs down on the mat. We're just lengthening up through the upper back. And then from here, we're sending the elbows back up towards the ceiling. Chest comes back down, nose is hovering again. So going again, sending the elbows down towards the feet, sending the shoulder blades down the back. We're lengthening out through the crown of the head forwards, sending the chest forwards as well. And then coming all the way down. Going again, sending the elbows down towards the feet, sending the shoulder blades down the back. We're just resting on the front ribs here. And then sending the body all the way back down. So if you're happy here, you can stick here just with this kind of small prone press, just working through the upper back. Otherwise, we're going to come into a swan. So from here, we're going to send the elbows down towards the feet, shoulder blades gliding down the back. Crown of the head's going forward, chest is going forwards. You feel like you get to a certain point where if you try and go any forwards anymore, you're going to peel the ribs off the mat. So we're going to allow that to happen, pressing the hands in towards the floor, and then we're peeling the body off, keeping the belly lifted, really pressing through the hands, lengthening out through the crown of the head. And then from here, we're going to start to bend the elbows in towards you, laying the body back down until you're coming all the way back down to just hovering the nose off the mat here. So we'll go again, sending the elbows down towards the feet, shoulder blades gliding down the back. We're just hovering the head and the chest away from the floor. We get to that point where we need to peel the ribs off the mat, press into the arms. We're lifting the body away here. And then to come down, we're folding through the arms, placing the body all the way back down towards the mat. We'll go for a couple more here. So again, sending the shoulders down, elbows down towards the feet, chest forwards, head forwards, peeling the spine off the mat, pressing through the arms, really nice and strong here. We're keeping the belly lifted away from the floor. And then we're bending in the elbows, coming all the way down. We'll go for one more here. Again, sending the elbows down towards the feet, shoulder blades gliding down, hands nice and spread and wide in towards the mat, peeling the body off, really keeping the belly lifted. We're lengthening out all through the body here. And then we're bending in the elbows, coming all the way down. From here, we're going to sweep the arms around towards the side of the body. We can just have the shoulders and the head just resting down for now. And then from here, we can bring the head back to hover, pubic bone still pressing down in towards the mat. From here, we're going to start to open wide through the collarbones, sending the fingertips down towards your feet. Shoulder blades gliding down the back again. Arms are facing in towards the side of the body. And again, we're lengthening out through the crown of the head forwards. And we're in our dart position here. So we're sending the shoulder blades down the back, really opening out wide through the collarbones. And then we're going to come all the way down. You can rest the head back down. And we'll go again. So we're reaching the fingertips down towards the feet, hovering the head off. Lengthening out through the crown of the head here. We're like a dart soaring through the air. Bringing the hands down, bringing the chest down, coming all the way down. We'll go again a couple more times. Reaching the fingertips down towards the floor. Down towards your feet, opening up through your collarbones. Seeing if you can send your head a little bit further ahead of you. And then coming all the way down. Next time we're going to stay up. So we're going to reach through the fingertips, reaching them down towards the feet. This time the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. We're lengthening through the crown of the head here. We're going to start to pulse the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and holding for the last one if you can, and then bringing the body all the way down. We're going to go for 2 more rounds for that one. So again, we're reaching through the fingertips, reaching them down towards the feet. We're opening out through the collarbones. We're still resting on the front ribs, but the chest is lifted, the head is lifted. We're reaching the arms down, slightly above the bottom, and then pulsing the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold if you can. And then bringing the whole body all the way down. We'll go for one more here. So again, reaching fingertips down towards the feet, really opening out through the collarbone, seeing if we can get a little bit wider here. And then we're pulsing the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold if you can. Can you reach a bit longer? Can your head go a bit longer? And then coming all the way down. From here, we're going to push up and come into a child's pose. So just bringing the hands just underneath the chest, sending the bottom back towards the heels. And just having a breather here. So we're sending the bottom down towards the heels, creating that nice curve through the lower back, reaching the arms out in front and ahead of you. And just breathing. Nice big inhale and nice big exhale. From here, we're going to come into some Mermaid. So we're going to start with the right leg in front, left leg behind. We're coming into our Z sit. So we want to make sure that we're sat up really nice and tall. If you feel like you're kind of wonking over to one side, then do get a little cushion or something and pop that underneath your bottom. Otherwise, from here, we're sitting up nice and tall through the spine. We're going to lengthen the arms out towards the side of the body. So from here, we're going to bring one hand down, one arm up towards the ceiling. We're coming up and over towards the left side here, and just breathing, really opening up through the right side of the body. Then we're going to press down through the left hand to come all the way up. Both arms up in the middle, and then we're bringing one hand down, the other arm up towards the ceiling. We're coming up and over towards the right side. And just breathing here. Just softening in the underneath shoulder. Then pressing down through the hand to come all the way up. Then bringing the hand down, bringing the arm up, coming up and over towards the left side. And just breathing here. Then pressing down through the left to come up to the middle, over to the right. Then pressing down through the hand to come in towards the middle. We're going to switch legs and do a few more on the other side. So we've got our left leg in front, right leg behind here. Again, hips can be different on each side, so if you want to pop a cushion underneath your bottom on this side, then do. Otherwise, arms out to the side again. From here, we're going to bring one hand down, one arm up towards the ceiling. We're coming up and over towards the left to start. And just breathing here. Really allowing the sit bones to be really nice and grounded in towards the floor. And then pressing down through the left hand, coming up to the center, then bringing right hand down, left arm up towards the ceiling. We're coming up and over. And just breathing here. And then pressing down through the right hand to come all the way up. Coming down on the left, right arm up towards the ceiling. We're coming up and over. Again, really seeing if we can open up this whole side of the body here. Softening in the underneath shoulder. And then coming all the way up, bringing the hand down, bringing the arm up one last time to this side. And then coming all the way up, and then bringing the hand down. From here, we're going to come back to sitting on our bottom. We're going to come into the seal, and then we're going to do a little bit more rocking. And then we're working all the way up to our boomerang. So from here, we're sitting up nice and tall on our sit bones. We're going to have our knees so that they're open, externally rotated, and we've got one hand coming around the front of the shin, and then the other hand coming around the other side of the shin. Just making sure that there's nothing behind you on your mat that you could roll onto. So from here, we're going to start to walk the feet in so that we're coming into a nice hover off the floor. So from here, we're going to roll back on an inhale and then come back up on an exhale. So we're inhaling, rolling back, exhaling, coming back up. Inhaling, rolling back, exhaling, coming back up. So this is called the seal because we're supposed to tap the feet together like a seal at either end. So see if you can manage 3 claps and 3 claps. We want to get a bit of hand time up here. I can only manage 2. See how many you can do. Just go for a couple more. Oh, nearly 3, 2.5 there. And then pause. Then from here, we're going to come straight into our open leg rocker. So we're just going to bring the legs out long, holding behind the back of the shins. Really making sure we've got that connection. Here, we're going to roll back on the inhale and then come back on the exhale. Trying not to hit your head on the floor like I just did. And I've lost it. Okay, we're going again. Rocking back rocking back up, seeing if you can hold your balance, rocking back, and then rocking back up. Really allowing the abdominals to fall back in towards your spine so you can maintain this nice curve. Go for a couple more. And then from here, we're going to go straight into our teaser. So we're going to see if we can just let go of the hands and hold this position here, softening through the shoulders. Then from here, we're going to start to lower the body all the way down towards the floor. And then we're going to see if we can come back up. So we're going to reach long through the toes, long through the fingers, coming all the way back up into our teaser. Ooh. And then seeing if we can lower the body all the way down. We'll try that one again. So we're reaching the fingertips, reaching long through the toes. We're coming up into our teaser, holding it here, and then coming all the way down. So if you can go for one more here. So reaching through the fingertips, reaching through the toes, coming all the way up. And then from here, you can just bring the feet down, come off from behind your sit bones and just have a little sit. We're going to go into our boomerang. So I'll try and talk it, but it might end up being that we do it and then all the words come out and it's all very garbled because I'll be boomeranging around everywhere. So we're going to start in sitting and we're going to have one leg crossed over the other leg. We've got the arms just down by the side of the body here. Just making sure I've got enough room. So we're going to start to roll down through the spine. We're picking the legs up. We're rolling over, up into our rollover with our crossed legs. Here we're going to see if we can uncross the legs, cross them back. And then we're going to try and roll down and hold up in a teaser. Ooh. We'll try that one again, shall we? Right, we're supposed to roll up, hold up into our teaser, and then come and roll over the legs. But we'll try it again. I lost my train of thought. So from here, we're sitting up nice and tall. Legs crossed over. I've switched over the legs. We're going to roll down through the spine, bringing the legs up, rolling over, crossing, uncrossing the legs. And then from here, we're rolling down through the spine, coming up to hold, then sweeping the arms around, coming over into a spine stretch, and then stacking the body back up again. So we'll go again here, sticking with the legs crossed over this way. We're going to roll down through the spine, bringing the hands down, bringing the legs up and over, crossing the legs, uncrossing and crossing, and then again rolling down through the spine, seeing if we can hold, and then sweeping the arms around, coming up and over into our spine stretch. We'll see if we can go for one more or two more here. So again, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to roll down through the body, hands down, sweeping the legs up and over, uncrossing the legs, crossing them back over, and then seeing if we can allow the spine to come down, holding up in our teaser, sweeping the arms around, coming forwards, reaching up and over, stacking back up. We'll go for one more, just for luck, because I messed up my first one. So again, we're going to roll down through the spine, bring the hands down, legs up and over, uncross, cross the legs. Then we're coming down, holding up, seeing if we can sweep the arms around, coming all the way up and over. And just breathing here. And then stacking the spine all the way back up. And then just uncrossing your legs. And we will finish there for today.
Why not check out these related videos? Thanks for joining us, everyone.